Good morning, Ron Mosher. Good morning, live on the radio.
Hey, good morning, Bill.
I was just saying to Andrew this morning, where's Ron Mosher? There's a lot of high school basketball action going on here.
Yeah, the last 2 days were pretty crazy at Onondaga Community College. Covered a triple header both days, and yesterday was particularly difficult because running back and forth between two gyms because some games overlap with local teams. I didn't get the chance to see all of the New York Mills girls game or any of the Sequoia Valley girls game because the gyms are fairly close, but you got to go back and forth. And so I covered 3 complete games at SRC Arena, where next week's finals will be. So, and then it was hectic, but we have locals in 3 boys championship games and local teams in 3 girls championship games back at OCC next Saturday and Sunday. So it'll be another wild weekend, but not as wild as this one.
So what do you think? I mean, who do you look as favorites going into this weekend?
Well, I'll start with the boys first because they play their championship games on Saturday.
Yeah.
We're going to have a winner in Class D. The opener's at 11 a.m. Saturday, and that's round 3 with Oriskany and New York Mills. Should be a great, great basketball game. Oriskany's 23-0, including 2 wins over New York Mills, and New York Mills is 20-3, and their other loss is to an unbeaten Mariah team from up by Plattsburgh area very early in the season. So, those 2 teams have gone head-to-head so many times the last few years, and the last time Oriskany was in a championship game was a couple of years ago. They had 4 sophomore starters, and that New York Mills team that they lost to in the championship game that was played at the Carrier Dome, that New York Mills team went on and won a state championship. So these seniors now for Oriskany, they've told me they're on, quote, a mission, but it's going to take a 3rd win over a very good New York Mills team to do it.
Let's talk about that because, you have to give Oriskany the nod as being the favorite. However, it's tough to beat a team like New York Mills 3 in a row.
Especially, we should add a team like New York Mills with a Terry Nichols, remarkable player. Doesn't ever look like he breaks a sweat, never gets rattled. He's just a cool customer, very smooth, fluid. The other day, Saturday, he hit some NBA-length three-pointers, 4 in a row, actually, Bill, in the first half when they were down by about 8 points to a very young and a very talented Madison team that really impressed me the way they fought in New York Mills. But Mills just beat Madison for the third time this year to get to this point. And Terry, I think, had 27 points. He just makes everybody around him better. Griffin Bauer played tough, was on the floor scrambling for loose balls, and a sophomore named Paul Ward came up big when Madison went to a triangle and 2 defense on Bauer and Nichols. So, New York Mills, I had them down for 4 turnovers in that game. They just execute in the half court so well.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's a credit to Mike Adey and his coaching staff. But, it's a little different style with Oriskany. Oriskany's run and gun. They have athletes at every position, including their all-time scoring leader, Ryan Schmadel, and they spread it out. I think they had 4 double-figure scorers the other day in their semifinal blowout. And, they like to get it up and down and run and gun and shoot 3-pointers. And then if they miss it, go get the rebound. So 2 different styles, and I think it should be a great, great game. I might pick this point, Bill, to another pet peeve of mine that I know I've mentioned in years past, and I've written about it, and it falls on deaf ears because, I'm not one guy, and especially me, is not going to change this. But I just think it's this past weekend, for instance, semifinal games, we had Cooperstown versus Herkimer in the boys and Cooperstown versus Frankfurt in the girls. And those are semifinal games, not championship games.
Yeah, they got to drive all the way out there. Yeah.
That just doesn't add up to me. And I realize I'm from this side of Section 3.
Yeah.
And I realize OCC is a great facility, don't get me wrong. But I can't believe we can't get some kind of contingency plan where the semifinals, okay, if we have 2 Utica-Rome area or Mohawk Valley area teams,
you play here.
In the semifinals, play here.
Right.
UC or Colgate or SUNY Poly or HCCC, somewhere here where more fans can come to it.
Right.
I swear there had to be some fans who stayed home. And we were lucky when there wasn't a blizzard.
And I got to tell you, now,
great driving.
Now these games end up being on Time Warner Cable, so it's easy to stay home and just watch the game at home.
Yeah, and I can tell you this. Yesterday morning, I was there for the very first girls' game at 11 o'clock at OCC, semifinal game between Janesville DeWitt, Jimmy Boeheim in the crowd because his daughter plays for JD, number 1 in the state, against CBA. 2 Syracuse area teams. If you didn't count the players, I swear there were 60 people in the crowd.
Wow.
Of course, maybe everybody was at church. I don't know, but it was a nice morning, and there was hardly anybody there. And it's obviously a big, big arena, and it just looked bad. It didn't have a good feel to it. And again, these are, I hate to say, just semifinals,
right?
But it's a great venue. You can watch game after game. I realize that's one of the pros, but I think sometimes the cons outweigh this. I just wish there was some way we could do it differently. I don't know if it's a money issue. I have no idea, or a gym availability issue. But in my heart, I just think it's wrong. And again, some people from Syracuse area would say, "Well, you're from that side of Second Street."
Right. Still,
I am, but I still don't think it adds up.
Right.
So,
you got all of it, and it doesn't have the mystique that playing at the Dome has. I mean, for football, when you play at the Dome, that's a big deal. It's you get it. I get it. I don't think the same thing is true for this. So,
remember we had the basketball finals in the Dome a few years ago. Now I think the dates there's a conflict because I think the monster trucks are in there next weekend. Whatever, but at the Dome, that was a bad feel too.
I know.
I've said it a million times. It's different when there's 33,000 people in the Dome and 3,000 people.
Yep. It's
not a championship feel. When we had the championships that 1 or 2 years at the auditorium, it was packed.
Right.
And you're next to the court. Let's face it. You go to a Dome game, and you're quite a ways away from the action. So anyway, okay, I got that off my chest.
Okay.
Sorry about that, Bill. On Saturday, this coming Saturday, we have three championship games with local teams. Oriskany New York Mill should be a great game at 11 a.m. in Class D. Class C, you got a Cooperstown boys team who's won 9 in a row, and they just beat a very good Herkimer team who kept pounding it inside and got great games from Mitchell Scherer and Josh Wilcox and Derek Newman, but they couldn't make a free throw, and they couldn't stop Cooperstown's sophomore guard, Tyler Bertram. Outstanding. I mean, you never hear of a sophomore scoring 1,000 points, but he's already got 1,000. He's a coach's son, and he plays like it. And they're a very young, very good, up-and-coming team, which I thought may have been a year or two away. I'm telling you, they're here now. They've won 9 in a row. They play a Tully team that's 18-5 in the C championship game at 12:45 Saturday. And then I'll have one more game, Class A. Notre Dame, I thought, had a good draw in the bracket, and they did. They wind up in the finals. They're 16-6, and they play Christian Brothers Academy at 4:30 Saturday in the Class A championship game. CBA is very good, ranked in the state, top seed. But Notre Dame's got one of the best athletes around in Jerome Brabham. 1,000-point scorer. And they've got a couple of young players who have really come of age. Todd Manilescu, Dante Griffin, Jalen Warmack, Kevin Warmack's younger brother's only a freshman, runs the point. I still give them a chance. They have some young kids who look like they're about 12 years old, but I'll tell you what, they play hard, and Ryan Goetz, the new head coach there, has gotten a lot out of them. So they're playing well at the right time, and give them an upset shot.
All right, I have 60 seconds. The girls play on Sunday. I'm sorry.
The girls play on Sunday. Class D opener, New York Mills against Copenhagen at 11. New York Mills led by Cassidy Albright, 1,000-point scorer, scored 16 points in the second half yesterday to lead them to victory. You got number 1 ranked in the state, defending state champion Cooperstown in Class C against Syracuse Academy of Science. Cooperstown, the prohibitive favorite there, played a tough game against Frankfurt Schuyler yesterday and pulled it out. A lot of their role players played well. And then in Class A, you got Whitesboro against state-ranked #1 Janesville DeWitt. That matchup, that's for the 4th straight year in the finals. JD's won the last 4 titles, so Whitesboro trying to pull off that upset. On any given day, they still got a shot. They got to play great defense and rebound and get some kind of offense, and they can give JD a run. So should be a big weekend, Bill.
Going to be a big weekend. You can read all about it in the OD with Ron Mosher, of course, always covering the high school basketball scene. Ron, we appreciate it. Good man. We'll talk to you maybe on Monday.
All right, Bill. Hey, state wrestling on Saturday, too.
Hey, going to be big. No doubt about it.
Take care.
All right, Ron Mosher, uticaod.com.